rise waar je even lever. Please be seated. Veuillez vous s'asseoir.
So, Mr. Hassan,
Yes.
I know this is not an easy journey, what we're asking you to do. So I thought to make it a little bit easier for you and yes, actually just to make it a little bit easier for you, I will lead you through some of what you have told us,
Right.
at least until we arrive, or you arrive in Kalmar camp, and then we take it from there, all right?
Yes.
And again, anytime you can ask for a break and make sure you don't speak too fast, okay?
Sure. Yes.
Um, we've been speaking about the reunion with your family in Mukjar. And you have described to us that the situation in Mukjar was actually quite difficult. People's houses were filled, and the health situation was not good. Some diseases broke out, and many died of those diseases, and that there were many poor people in the area. Is that correct?
Yes. Majority of people who died in Mugger because of cholera outbreak were children and elderly people who could not be able to resist the disease. There was lack of nutrition, nutritious foods. Um, that many people died. Many people died, not just by bullet, but also by the diseases due to the war in
And
Mugger. Yes. And also when there was a war in Mugger, the war took like 1 year in Mugger. So every week or every day we hear gunshots, and sometimes the army, sorry, the rebel groups, sometimes they used to come in Mugger, they attack the government forces, and the government also they exchange, depends on who is powerful. And many army of Sudan government lose thousands of army, thousands of them have been they died in Mugger, because the government, when they bring people from other regions of Sudan and they come there in Mugger, they don't know the places. They don't know because that forest, that what they say is mountainous areas, and their valleys, and their small. There's a what they say, which is valley, but there are also the other streams. So, and there are also forests there. So, and when those forces they come there, they don't know the places where they go. They go and fall in the hands of the armed movements, and they died. Many of them. Omar Bashir government has committed crimes not only against the foreign people but also against the Sudanese people. Students, many of them they died. Many of them. For me, I am activist, and I became activist because of this issue of Darfur. For me, I cannot sit there and watch my people suffering. I also contributed. I have 10 years right now, fighting for the justice and the peace in Darfur with an extraordinary lawyer who helped me a lot. Her name is called Diana. She helped me a lot, and I get in contact with her every time. She's an international lawyer, and she knows much of what I do and what I did exactly. What are my hopes about my country, Sudan, and young people are like me. So Sudanese government, what they did in Darfur was a genocide, was crime against humanity and crimes of how do you call of war crimes and crimes of aggression. For me, when I came to Canada, I had to also go and read more what genocide means to. And there's a university called Concordia University. I did research much about it, and they also teaching courses about genocide. For me, I also took courses about genocide. I have learned what genocide is all about, what's behind the genocide. What is happening in Sudan, in Darfur, it was a genocide. And the people who committed genocide, they are Ahmad Haroun, Musa Hilal, Ali Koshep, Jafar Abdul Hakam, Umar Bashir, and many people, many elements of the former regime of Umar Bashir.
Mr. Hassan,
Yes,
I will take you back to 2003 and 2004 for a moment,
yes,
because the judges would like to hear from you
yes,
how your journey continued
yes,
after you left, um,
yes,
after you had to leave your village. And as
yes,
you have explained, you spent some time in Mukjar,
yes,
many months actually.
yeah. Many months, or
Yes,
more than about 9 months is in Mughar there.
yes.
Within those months, I saw horrible crimes happen. Those people, those criminals whom I mentioned, them, I even saw them by my naked eyes there in Mughar when they came there, and they I believe you might have heard about the victims of Darfur. They might have told you about what happened. I believe I'm not the only witness or the victim of Darfur genocide, but many people of you maybe have many of them may have reported about what happened there in Mugger.
Yes.
Mugger, yes,
And
Mugger,
and I apologize, Mr. Hassan. I'm just taking you back to your account of
yes,
your journey at the time.
yes,
From Muktar, you went back with your mother to Bindisi for a short period of time.
yes,
And if I
yes,
understand correctly, your mother found many displaced persons living in your compound. And you stayed there for a few weeks before going back to Mukjar and then starting the journey via South Sudan and Uganda until you arrived in Kalma camp. Is that correct?
yes. In Mugger, for me, I returned to Bindisi alone. And because my mom she and my sister Nahid they went to Bindisi when we were in Mugger. Was my grandmother and my sister Radia and my young siblings Nahid, Najar and Nuruddin. And for me, I went to Bindisi alone. It was a long journey. It took me like one day. I went there, and again we came back from Bindis to Mugger. We came back again with my family, with my sister and my mother. We came to Mugger again. Then from there we traveled. We decided to move from Mugger to go to Niala. So we went through. We came back again because the road was between Garcila and Niala was close, and we had to go back again from Bindisi to how to call to Kabar and Kabuk and Amdokon, and when we went to Birdi and again we went to Niala. Yeah, transition.
And then you spent some time in Niala and eventually you arrived in Kalma camp. That was, I think, in November 2004. Is that possible?
Yes, yes. When we went Niala, we had our neighbors whom we used to live with them in Bindisi. They are from Masalit people. So when we went Muger, we lived at their house for a couple of weeks. Then we went to Hai Salama. It was a camp. It was a new area. The government organized it for the displaced people only to live there. So we lived in Hai Salama, and for some few months. And then again from there we moved to Kalma camp.
And you stayed in Kalma camp for about 3 years.
Yes,
Yes?
yes. I lived there in Kalma camp. Yeah.
Can you explain to the
For
judges?
4 years, I think, 2004, 5, 6, 7, up to then 2008 we went to Uganda. It was four years in Kalmakam. Yes.
Okay. We have heard from many prosecution witnesses about the situation in Kalmar camp, so we obviously know it was a very difficult time. But we would be interested to know how your perspective on things was as a child. What do you remember from your time in Kalmar camp, the schooling situation, the health situation, and how did you spend there your time as a child? Can you speak about that?
In Kalmakam, when I was in Kalmakam, that time I had no interest going to school. Even when I used to go to school, I had no interest to read or write. Sometimes I used to go in school without shoeless. I had only one pants. I have to wash it every day and go to school with it. Um, and my mom, she was also not feeling okay. Sometimes she will get sick. Sometimes she will, go and work in Kalmakam. So when we were in Kalmakam, it's belonged to the locality called Bilel. And we had to live there in that area, in that area called Kalma. So when we lived there in the beginning, when you came there, they were how do you call plum trees, a lot of plum trees. People had to cut those plum trees. There were snakes and scorpions. They used to bite people. There were so many mosquitoes there. But the UN, they helped us a lot. There were some organizations, they also helped us a lot. They used to bring for us water with tanks. But now there's infrastructure. They brought how do you call they brought companies and they built infrastructure for water in order to supply water to people. But in the beginning there was no any infrastructure for water. But now the organization, they help people and they build even hospitals. But in the beginning, also, like, because many people lived there, that area, and there were no organization in order to dig, how to call, latrines for the people. And also diseases occurred and many people died because of those diseases. Same thing of the what happened in Muger there in Kalmakam, because of many people living together, and there's no good sanitation there. In Kalmakam, we have experienced terrible things also. When there was peace agreement in in Aboya, and also Janjaweed militias and government forces, they used to come in Kalma there and arrest people. In Kalma, in the beginning, there used to be police stations inside Kalma, but the people of Kalma, they advocated and they removed those police stations. They used to abuse women and they used to do horrible things and spy people there. And Kalma people, they were very brave and they managed to remove them outside. And I remember also when the UN forces, they also came, the peacekeeping forces in Darfur, despite there was no peace, but they said that they call themselves peacekeeping forces. They brought them in Kalma there. They were not doing anything. They were just there, despite of the crimes. They didn't intervene. They didn't do anything. Only they were just there in Kalma. So I remember my mom. She will go and work in the how do you call it, in the farms of Arabs. The land, when they come in the beginning in Kalmakam, those lands, they used to belong to the how do you call African black people, black tribal groups like Dayu people. Those the valley is called Wadi Birli, and that Wadi Birli, the Janjaweed militia, they came and they killed people, Dayu people, and they displaced them. And the Arabs elites who are living in Niala, they came and they took advantage of the land because they knew that there are southern people living there in Kalma. So if they plant anything, we can get workers work for them for free, for in a cheap price, not for free. I mean, so my mom, she used to go and help and plant, how do you call onions and tomatoes, and they used to pay them how do you call uh, £1 per every in our language is call it dorte. Dorte is a, I don't know what to say in English or Arabic, but my mother tongue we say dorte. Dorte is a when you build when you do how do you call onion plantation in Sudan. In other countries it's different. So there's a small like a triangle. So we go and plant. That's called dorte. So per every tortilla they pay you like 1 pound Sudanese pound. My mom, she used to work there and get some money. And for me, I had the wheelbarrow. It wasn't mine, but I have to rent every day. Sometimes I pay £2, sometimes I pay £1, and I used to go and work, and yeah, just work, any kind of job in order to get something for my family and my sisters. Radia and Nahid, they used to stay at home. My mom, she wouldn't allow them to go outside because they would rape them. Anything can happen to them. So we had to, keep them at home, not to go anywhere. And if they go, they just go to school and come back. Yeah, there was
If
a
you,
school called the
sorry.
school, Salam school and the Qatar school. For me, I went to Qatar school.
Two things. First, you speak about home. What kind of home, what kind of house was it that you lived in Kalmar camp?
It's just tent. The house is just tent. Just the
Provided
tent.
by the UNHCR?
Yeah, by the UNSCR. Yeah, they used to distribute in the beginning. They used to provide for us relief, enough relief, but over time, government took advantage, and they used to bring for us they used to per every family, per every 4 people, they used to bring for us a sack of the wheat and cooking oil and different sort of relief they used to bring for us. But the government took advantage, and then they used to bring like a per every person, they used to bring a malwa. Malwa is like a container, a small container. So they used to bring per every person like two or one container. They distribute wheat to the people. So government, so it cut it, and there were many organizations, but now government, there are no many organizations there. Therefore, because government has to catch them, and government politicize this organization and said, oh, they are coming there to investigate. They take information and they go and give to the organizations. I don't know. Some organizations, government of Sudan, what they do is they try to politicize human rights. And when you politicize human rights, it means that you bring water and you contaminate water, and it becomes undrinkable. And that's what exactly that genocide case became. The world, I was following a debate took place in Colombia by the organization called Save Darfur, and they were just politicizing about Darfur genocide, politicizing, and they don't talk about death of the women, children, burning of the villages. Thousands of villages have been burned. They don't talk about the millions of people who have been displaced, and I'm just confused. I'm
Mr.
just
Hassan,
confused.
um, you mentioned that eventually you went to school in Kalmar camp. Did I get this right?
Yes, I used to go to school,
Can
not
you
every day.
describe? Can you describe the school?
The school was built by grass. Um, um, the school, it was in between center 1 and center 2 and center 3. It used to that area that area they used to live people from, because Kalma is a big camp. People come from Wadi Saleh, from Wadi Kaya, from Wadi Bare, Wadi Azum. I've learned about that for much in Kalma camp. People from different like how do you call it, areas of Darfur or regions of Darfur, they came there in Kalma camp. So we used to live with our neighbors. They were from how do you call, Wadi Kaya. They were from Wadi Kaya, and over time, then again we moved and went to the our area of where the Sali people they used to live there. So, but now school is called Qatar school. I used to go to Qatar school, but as I said, I didn't love to go into school. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't when I was young. I didn't like school when I was young. Unless when I grew up, then I had the passion to study. But when I was young, I used to go like rare. I didn't go to school. Sometimes my mom will beat me to go to school, but I used to skip sometimes. I had no passion to study that time when I was young. Yeah.
It's okay. We're not going to blame you for that. I think this is something you share with many children who don't want to go to school. Um,
Uh,
but if a child wanted to go to school in Kalmar camp, was it possible for all the children to go to school?
yes, of course, it was possible. Schools were there. Some people they used to volunteer, teachers. People are passionate, and but for people they like education, and I'm one of them.
And you said that your mother cultivated land, I suppose, to sell it, to be able to feed the family. Um, were
In
you
Kalmar,
dependent in Kalmar? Yes. Were
the
you?
land is it's not the land is for Dajo people, but the elites of the Arabs they killed the Dajo people and they took their land. Bilal, as I said, they took advantage of the land, and they used the Kalmar people to work for them there in those lands. My mom, she will go there and work for them, and they pay them money and they come back home. They just work as like each and everybody. They just gone, but not every day, and not every season. There's some temporary season, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They go and plant, then that is it. You come back home. Yeah.
And was your mom able to feed the family with what she earned, or were you dependent on some support by
Yeah,
international organizations or
yeah.
NGOs?
International organization they provide for us a relief, but sometimes like wheat it's not enough. Sometimes we human beings we need soap, we need cooking, we need salt, we need many things, many requirements. We need clothes, we need sometimes we need happiness, we need a lot of things. Food is not enough. Food cannot meet your all needs. There's a proverb that says, "Eat to live, but not life to eat." So life is not only about eating, but the other things also we need money to do with it. But, uh,
Eventually, probably escaping that difficult situation, your family moved on to Uganda and later on to Canada. Can you tell
yes,
us more about this? How much time did you spend in Uganda, and how was the situation there for you as a refugee?
when we went to Uganda, for me, when I was in Kalma, I dream of that I went to place, and the house where I went to, first house, second house where I lived in Uganda, this exact house that I dreamed in Kalma, it's the same place that I dreamed about it when I Kalma. In the beginning, when we went to Uganda, I didn't know English at all, even though I had passion to learn English. Um, so there was an Arab man. His name is called. Sorry, I call him like my uncle. He passed away. His name is called Def Allah. Everybody knows him in Uganda, especially Sudanese people. So he's the one who helped us, directed us a lot. He even used to pay for us a school fee, not school fee, but money for materials, buy materials for school, sometimes clothes, and he rent for us a house in the beginning also. Even my brother Muhammad also he helped us a lot because he was working in South Sudan. Sorry. So in Kampala, life was not easy in the beginning because to get used to new environment, new culture, new language, new people, different country, different thing, different. It was difficult for us in the beginning, but over time, we the young people, we had no problem because we used to go and play with every kid, like on the streets. We talk to kids, they're so friendly. So I was 13 years old and I used to go and play football. Yeah. So I remember there was a school. It's called Makerere Primary School. I think it's a Catholic school. So for me, I remember I went with my sister Najat, and we convinced a teacher. We tried to convince a teacher, sorry, a head teacher, and head teacher he was not he didn't believe us in the beginning. He thought maybe we are like any other kids, street boys, joking around. For me, I went like multiple times, like 3 times. I talked to him. I even cried. I explained to him everything I want to study, and he listened to us. So he came and he learned that we are coming from Sudan, and we had difficulties on many things. And there were some Sudanese students in Uganda. I spoke to them in Arabic. They used to translate for me, and that same school. Then the head teacher told me, tomorrow you have to bring your clothes, school. You have to tell your mother to bring for you money for the school clothes and also materials, and come to class. So in the beginning, I used to go to class. Kids, they used to laugh at me because I was 13 years old. And in primary one, some kids, they are like 7, 8 years old. They used to laugh at me. But for me, I didn't mind about it. So I continued. I studied in Uganda there a lot, even until I went to high school. But I didn't complete my high school. I came to Canada. I completed my high school in 2015. Yeah.
So
So I had to struggle a lot to compete, because 13 years old, in order to complete primary school again, to go to high school, you had to do a lot of homework. You have to study a lot. You have to even go and buy books, other books, to read, be independent. So there were some students from Darfur. They used to also help me. They used to bring for me books. Even Sudanese community, they used to help me a lot. I was very loving boy there in Kampala. They used to call me what Hajja means the son of the grandmother of mother. I don't know in Arabic. Yeah, they used to call me there. So I had to go and sit with people. I had to do anything in order to survive, in order to study. Yeah, and thank God right now I am able to speak English, and I really, really love English.
Yes, your English is perfect indeed.
Thank you.
You mentioned it. Eventually, the family moved on to Canada. Can you explain to us how
Yes,
this
in
decision
the
was
beginning.
taken and when you arrived in Canada and who from your family immigrated to Canada?
Yeah. For me, in the beginning, when we went to in Kalmakam, there was my brother Saleh Hassan. He came to how to call to Egypt. For me, like he left the home in that 1990, I think, or 2000. I don't know. I don't remember. I was young that time to remember, but I knew my elder brother Saleh. He was not around, and my brother Ahmad, they left. They went to Khartoum. That was before we were starting Darfur. So they were in Khartoum there, and again, like government used to arrest, like youth, and they recruit them in army, and they take them to South Sudan to fight there. So my brother they have to run. They had to run. One of them, Ahmad, was arrested, and he was taken there. My brother went and that's what my brother Salih told me. So he went and found my brother in Higli. So and he took him to Egypt. They escaped to Egypt, and they sponsored him. There's an organization called Valley Village or ICC, MCC. I don't know. It's based in Altona, Manitoba. There. So they sponsored him, and he came to Canada. When he came to Canada, he came in 2006. When he came to Canada, so he used to help us also too. So he helped us when he knew that you came to Uganda. He sent to us money, and then we used to also pay for rent. His situation was very difficult because he had a wife and he didn't know English at all. So he had to struggle getting money from social assistant and working other jobs. you know yeah, that's what he told us. That's what my brother Saleh he told us. But he went to many organizations to help him in order to bring us to Canada, but he was unable. So we stayed there in Uganda for 7 years. But there was a church for US. They for them they offered to help us to come to US. But for me, I said no. Me and my sister Nahid, we said no. We don't want to go to US. Yeah, for me, when I was in Uganda there, I used to read much about US. I said, no, I don't want to go to US. We want to go to Canada, yes. And then over time, we got the opportunity to come to Canada. We were brought by the organization called, I don't know whether MCC or Build the Village, I don't know. Yeah, they are based in Altona. So it's part of the Christian organization, and they help us, and we settled there in Altona. Altona became our home, and we lived there for a long time.
And if I'm well informed, you arrived in Canada on the 22nd of May of
Yeah,
2013.
22nd. Yes, indeed.
Yes, and you're now a permanent resident of Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. Yes. I am a permanent resident of Canada. Yes.
Yeah. And you have around 8 family members in Canada, also including your mom?
Yes, I have 8 there's also my young brother. He also joined us. He came from Chad, and now he came here recently. He came like 2 years ago, I think. We are same father, but not the same mother.
Mm-hmm.
He's here. I have my brothers right now here in Canada. 3 of them they are facing mental problem, and I try to explain this to my lawyers. And once we try to, even in Canada here is very difficult. And Canadian people, they don't know what we went through there in our countries. They don't know, understand what we went through. They didn't know that there in our countries we used to, we didn't. For me, I didn't have to. We didn't have to rent a house in my country. We didn't have to pay bills and utilities and everything. We didn't. The system here in Western countries is completely different there in our countries. Even right now in Canada, for me, I feel I'm in Canada. I'm very happy. Canada is a very peaceful country. Canadians are very kind people, very loving people. I love Canada very much. I feel for me, I'm Canadian now. Now I describe myself as a Canadian too because this is my home. But Canada for us is very difficult for us to survive here. We don't have houses. We rent people's houses. We struggle to pay rent. Even right now, for me, I'm thinking of if I go back home, I think about, hey, why can I get money to pay my rent? Why can I have money to pay my bills? Why can I find money to provide food on the table to my own kids? And Canada, I get shocked, to see Canada, big country like Canada, compared to my country, Sudan, and they don't give us land. We thought when you come to Canada, Canada government can give us land, give us house to live, but here life is completely different, completely different. 10 years we are struggling, we are stuck in poverty circle, and this is because of the war in Canada, in Sudan. I hope Canadian government will not. I hope Canadian government, when they sponsor people in Canada, they have to remember that these people are not poor. They are poor, yes, but where they came from, they were not poor. Where they come from, they were not living in hell. And this is not the decision we made to come to Canada, but this is a life. This is a government force us. We want the Canadian government to remember that we are people and we deserve every right what we deserve before the war in our country. Um, um,
You're
Again,
the example of a person who did a lot of things since you arrived in Canada. You graduated from high school within one and a
yeah,
half years, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You
One
studied
here,
at the
yes,
University of Manitoba.
yes, 1 year, and
That's
even when I
correct,
came
isn't it?
here, also,
Yeah.
I had to struggle a lot, to pay my how do you call, my student loan, take courses. I had to struggle a lot, like each and every student. Yeah.
And how did you do that?
For me, I work. There's a company, organization called Farm Boy. I used to work with them. I used to work also cleaning company, Carleton University, same university. I used to work the cleaning company for 3 years. There, I used to work.
And you founded
Yeah.
a family.
What was that?
And you founded a family. You have a
My
wife and
family?
you got married.
Yes, yes, I'm very happy over it. This is our culture. For us, we marry when we are young, and this is good. It teaches personal responsibility and control yourself, not to become a street boy, and to know who you are and what you're doing in your life, to have a purpose in life. And this is what I did, and I hope to many people, many young people like me. I feel I'm lucky, very lucky, by the way. There are many young people like my age, and I can't imagine how people are suffering in my country. So I'm saying Sudan all, not only Darfur. People, they have no opportunity there. Even there are some students who are graduated from university. They don't find jobs. Not jobs. Sudan became a lawless country. Sudan became a country whereby somebody like a Hemeti Janjaweed militia, he never went to school and he became uh, a very challenging person in Sudan right now. In Sudan, he took advantage of Darfur, and he's took advantage of our land, and he's mining how do you call gold worth billions of dollars. That money should come to us. Should come to the people of Darfur. I don't understand I don't understand why the world is silent and letting terrorists, criminals, war criminals, to take advantage of the land of the people, of the indigenous people, take their own land and kill millions of people, and sell to the gold to the countries like that support terrorism like Emirat and Qatar. I don't. For me, I don't understand at all. I don't understand at all. I am confused, by the way, and I feel this is not something that I could talk about it, but this is what we need to talk about. We need to talk about what's behind the genocide in Darfur. We really need to talk about that in order to stop this thing.
In this forum, Mr. Hassan, I'm afraid we won't be able to solve politics, but everything you're explaining to the judges is very important for them to understand the impact that the crimes that you have witnessed have had on you as a child, at the time, but also on your family. And we think it is probably a different experience to be displaced in your own country or in a neighboring country or in a country very far away like you, like Canada. And this is actually how we started the whole conversation when we first met. And I think you've very well described what's the impact, and especially of being displaced into a completely different world. And it's important for the judges to hear about your very personal experience, not about a group of people, because I think you all feel differently. All your lives are different. All of you have developed differently. And and this is why I always come back to ask you very specific questions about you. And this is why I would also like to ask you if you would say that you have suffered any specific injuries. I think psychological injuries, it's obvious, and I don't want to I don't want to, to trigger too many difficult memories. But if we talk about physical injuries first, you have mentioned that you have suffered physical injuries and that you have some scars. Can you explain to us where these come from?
For me, I'm happy that I'm still alive. And there's this movie about Walking Dead. For me, I feel like I'm the Walking Dead. I'm dead, but I'm spiritually, I'm still alive. But for me, I'm dead psychologically, emotionally, mentally. But I still cope. I still struggle. It's difficult, by the way. It's very difficult for a person to experience what I went through, and I don't wish for any human being to feel what I went through in my life. There are many people. There are thousands of people. I believe there are millions of people who have went through what I went in many countries, not only in my country, Sudan. And for me, I have a scarification in my body right now, but thanks God I'm still strong right now. I can walk, I can do anything. But getting wounded is not about just physically, also emotionally wounded, spiritually wounded, psychologically wounded. Wounds is not just only to see somebody amputated or anything. Wounds, they have different shapes and different colors and different symbols and different meaning.
Can you say something about your brothers? And I would ask you not to mention their names because they may not want that. But 3 of your brothers, I think, are with you in Canada. Can you tell us how they are?
I have 2 of my brothers. Even I can't talk to them right now. One I have 6 years. 5 years, 6 years. Since 2006 I can't talk to them because police they told us if you call them, if you talk to this person, we're gonna arrest you. The police they think that maybe we want to harm them, but we don't want to harm them. And police they don't know what these people. They don't know the story of these people. They don't know what these people they want. They don't know the background of these people. They treat us like in Canada here we are all equal. They treat us equally. Everybody we are all in Canada here we are equal. So and Canadian government is police they just trying to keep this person safe and to make sure that this person is not getting harmed from anybody. But they don't know. Police, they people like me and everybody. There's some of them. They went to high school and they go and work. They go and apply and they become policemen to protect law and order in Canada, like each and every country. But I want Canadian government to know that my brothers are suffering a lot, and we really need to do something to help them. 3 of them right now, because of the war in Sudan. I'm lucky to not become like them. Because for me, I try my life anything to make myself happy. I read books. I do anything in my life to make myself happy. Sometimes when I'm sad, I just smile to make sure that I am not sad. Even I just pretend that I'm not sad. I just smile. I just laugh, keep myself happy. But inside, I know I am hurt. I'm in pain. I'm confused.
One of your
Yeah.
brothers, Mr. Hassan, is also a participating victim in these proceedings. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
My brother. Yes. Of course. I can't mention the name as you said because of their personal safety and privacy. We live in a complete different world. But for me, what I would like to say, I would just say, this is not when I'm here. I'm not only just talk about myself. It's about myself. Yes, as a genocide victim, but it's not about me. It's about Darfur. For me, I worth nothing. I worth nothing. My life.
When we spoke for the first time, I think it was last year, and you decided or you accepted actually to address the judges in these proceedings. Can you explain to us why you took this decision? Because it's not easy. And maybe, I know that's difficult, but maybe try to remember how you felt at the time, which is before the new outbreak of the conflict about 2 months ago. If that is possible
Um,
at all.
yes. Um, the war is not new in Sudan, and it's continuous every day. Maybe you don't see it on media, but whenever you see something on media, people think it's new, but it's not new. It's happening every time, every day in Sudan in different means. For me, why I'm seeking justice? For me, I believe in justice. And justice. What I would like to say about justice is like not just all, but I think when you use the violence, people we know all violence can be good violence. Once you go and use the violence, you will be good more violence. Even right now, like many people of my age, even when I was young, I feel like when I grow up, I will go and fight those militias. I will do anything to go and confront them. I will go and take revenge. But now when I grow up, I read and I explore those things and change my mind. I understand more. I said no. What I don't wish to myself, I can't wish to any human being, even my own enemy. And I've learned also from Rwandan students whom we were in school in the beginning in Manitoba University. I asked them, what happened? Can you explain to me genocide in Rwanda there? And they used to tell me a lot. I said, why do you forgive each other? I said, because of peace. And for me, because of peace. Peace is for not for me, my own safety, but it's for safety of everybody. Because of peace, I'm ready to forgive my enemy. I'm to forgive anybody who did harmful to me, not only me, but so not to other people, but also my own self. I'm ready to forgive everybody because we need peace, and peace cannot come is through justice, and justice is about truth. Justice is about delivering justice, truth to people. It's about reflecting what happened in Sudan and in Darfur, and even to educate the enemy that what you're doing is not good. We are all human beings above the law, above anything, above the God. We are all human beings, and we have to do anything to stop this war. This war is not going to benefit us. That's what I want to prove to the world. I want to prove that the people that are for the Janjaweed militia and the foreign people, victims like me, millions, that we are all equal, and we have to overcome our pains. We have to overcome our agony that we have inside. We have to overcome that the hate we have in our hearts. This war, as I said, it has created hatred, and some people it's not very difficult to reconcile them because in their minds they see that the solution is just violence. Confront these people with every tool and every means they possess in order to stop this war. But for me, I believe justice is the tool to stop the war. And why I'm here running after justice, because I believe the world needs peace. The world is not run by violence. And as I read the European history, Europeans they fought for years, and millions of people they died in Europe, in America, in Canada, in UK, many countries. I read about Irish famine where people died because because of the famine in Ireland. Many people, in UK, millions of people died. And now you see that this developed world, they developed because of peace. They developed because they stopped war. That's why, and this is in Sudan.
Mr. Hassan, I thank you very much for accepting to appear before the judges. I don't know if your honors have questions to Mr. Hassan.
No, thank you very much, Ms. von Wisniewski. I don't know. I believe neither of the parties want to ask questions either. No. Mr. Latry.
If you allow me, just to thank Mr. Hassan for appearing and to deliver this very dignified statement. Very much precious to this court, I'm sure, and very much appreciated.
Yes, thank you. You've nothing else for the witness then? Thank you, Mr.
Well, I mean, of course, if there is anything else he wants to tell you, this is the moment to do so. But I think that we have covered all his personal history that we thought was important for you to hear. Thank you, Mr. Hassan.
Mr. Hassan, I think you have made it very clear to the three judges what you and obviously your people underwent and are still undergoing as a result of what is happening in Sudan at the moment. We're very grateful to you for taking the time to give us all this information, which at the appropriate time will be taken into account. So thank you very much indeed for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, very well. Thank you very much.
I'm allowed to say something else? Or?
Yes, certainly. If you want to say it, of course you may.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, judges, the legal representatives, the defense team. Thank you very much. The witnesses, the Office of the Prosecutor, and the international community, and all the countries that are part of the states of parties of the Rome Statute, the Sudanese people and the Darfur people. My hope is to stop the war, please. Let us do anything to stop this war. I have much to say, but I feel so much pain, and we need to stop this pain. I believe all of us, we are in pain. And I think pain has medication. And medication is you and me and us. Medication is good words. It's loving words. It's unity. And above all, don't forget we are human beings. And this land, billions of people live in this one. They went, our ancestors, they lived in this land. They died. And we're going to die one day also. We're going to leave this land to the generation to come. Let's do something. Let's do peace. Let us do war in Sudan. And again, lastly, don't forget, we are not victims. I'm victim, yes, of course. But we are now not victims. We are change makers. We are leaders. We are activists. We are politicians. We are lawyers. We are anything. We are teachers. We are the generation that tomorrow will build this world and our communities and our people. And Kofi Annan, he convinced us when there was one young conference in Ottawa, when I met with Diana, he said, "We, the millennial generation, we are the future for this world." I don't think what he said, it's absolutely true, but he wants to convince us that we have to do more, that we have responsibility that we bear in our hands, and I want that world to empower us. To not just say, see us as victims, but also see us as people who can bring this change. And I believe we can do something with the victims of genocide to stop this war. We can be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I want the world to empower them. There are many Darfur youth like me, and they have their messages. And they told me, Hassan, please do anything. Please, if there's any organization, any world, any country, anything, please try to help the foreign people, students mainly. We need scholarship opportunities. We need education more than anything. I need for us to see that there are countries that can offer, even if they take 500 students every country or 1,000 students every country, to give them scholarship opportunities to their foreign people. Please do that. Please, please, please. This war has destroyed people. And education is, I believe in education. Without education, there will never be development at all. So education can bring for us change, I believe. It can teach people their rights and what life means or what justice means to them. Please import that for people, please, please. And we're here to help anytime, anything we have question, anything we have to help. There are foreign people everywhere, even in Holland, in Netherlands, they are there, in UK, in France, in Germany, in Canada, in America, everywhere the foreign people are there. The foreign people are not only my people, but also they are your own people. They have UK citizenship, they have France citizenship, they have Canadian citizenship, they have Holland citizenship, they have citizens of many, many countries, Europeans. They are part of you. Please help the foreign people. If those even who are there in Uganda, in Kenya, in Chad, in Egypt, I have networks, many of them. They said, please, we need education more than ever. Please help them. Please, I'm asking you. And I wanted that the war in Sudan to stop. And I have a message to the army of Sudan, Hemeti and Burhan. Please stop the war in Sudan. Just stop the war. Just stop the war, please. If you need power, you don't want power. We need to live in peace. Sudanese people, they don't want peace only.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Mr. Hassan. I don't think anybody would dissent from the wish you just expressed. So thank you very much again for attending the court to help the court. Yes, that concludes the witnesses' views and concerns. Yes, thank you. Can we...
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. Thank you. As I say, I think you've said everything that you could possibly have said. Yeah. And that concludes your evidence. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Yes. Tomorrow, Ms. von Wisting, I think you've got 2 witnesses, is that right? Are you likely to conclude such evidence as you can call tomorrow? Or is it likely to go into Wednesday, simply from the point of view of timetabling?
I think we can finish tomorrow, but I also don't want to rush the witness and the participating victim, so it's difficult to tell. And there's going to be real interpretation. I mean, it's not that there wasn't any interpretation today, but they will speak. They will both speak in Arabic.
In Arabic rather than Fur?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's at least helpful.
Yes.
Yes. All right. All right. Then we'll deal with the planning, such as we can, for the remainder of your case after you've concluded tomorrow. All right.
Very much.
Yeah, and Mr. Lachi, I'm also going to deal with your request after that. Yes, thank you very much. So it's 9:30 tomorrow morning, then, please. No, yes, 9:30. 9:30.
Right, veuillez vous lever.